Uh, Today we are on, I've got people texting me saying I can't find this on Facebook because for some reason it's not working. I'm just gonna have some people that are unhappy with me today. I'll take care of that later. Let's keep going. Today we're on topic number 5 of the 24 topics of the MREA, and we're gonna be on page 95. For those of you who are following along at home, page 95 of the MREA. Technically, page 94, 95, and 96. Topic 5, what is your value proposition? Now, before I jump to the book, just think about the following paragraph that I'm going to read to you. And remember, words matter, so pay really close attention to every word that I'm getting ready to say. This is the most useful page for a real estate agent as it lays out the basic 10-point value proposition for buyers and sellers. It is the foundation of any buyer or seller consultation. So on page 94, under purpose, Gary says, top real estate agents always have a clear understanding of why they should be hired, and they are able to articulate it to anyone at any time. We're going to come back to that. That's really important. Under value proposition, here's what Gary has to say. Even beyond their sense of purpose, the very best real estate agents are able to translate this purpose and the reason people should hire them into a specific set of services that they will provide. They have come to call this the agent's value proposition. This value proposition lays out in detail, that's important, what services the buyer or seller will receive. When we narrowed it down to what is really important, we discovered there are 10 specific service areas for the buyer and 10 for the seller. Now, those 10, and without pulling it up, there it is. Go to page 95, and I'm going to read these to you quickly, and then what I'm going to do is I'm going to tell you which ones you're responsible for as a real estate agent and which ones you should leverage. All right, 10, the top 10 service areas of the seller value proposition. Needs analysis. If you go back and you watch the videos from the 14-point listing presentation, the needs analysis begins, Elise, in order for me to understand if I can meet your goals and exceed your expectations, I need to ask you a couple questions. On a scale of 1 to 10, with 1 being not so great and 10 being awesome, what needs to happen in the sale of your home for this experience to be a 10? That's how our needs analysis begins. And it's our job to conduct a high-level needs analysis. High level means we go deep. Help clarify the motivating reasons to sell, determine the seller's timetable. Pricing strategy. Determine the best selling price strategy. Important word. Strategy. Given current market conditions. You guys go back and listen to the 14-point listing presentation. I told you then that your job is not to determine market value. Your job is to determine the right strategy in order to get their home sold in today's market. Number 3, property preparation. 4, marketing strategy. 5, receive offers. 6, negotiate to sell. 7, sell. 8, pre-close preparation. 9, closing. 10, post-closing. Now, as an agent, my 20% is, there's 4 of the 10 that are in my 20%. Needs analysis, pricing strategy. Nobody else could do those. I'm going to do those. Receive offers, negotiate to sell, and everything else can be leveraged. In other words, if I have a team, my team is going to handle property preparation, the marketing strategy, the sell to close process, pre-close preparation, closing, and post-closing. If I don't have a team, if I am an individual agent, I'm looking for opportunities to leverage each one of those items. And I'm doing that because that's going to enable me to spend more time on the 20%, which is going to enable me to up my game, up my goals, perform at a higher level. Now, the 10 items on page 95 that are part of the service areas to the buyer value proposition are needs analysis. You're going to do a buyer consultation in the office, CTO, come to office. You're going to do a buyer consultation in the office in which you're going to conduct a needs analysis, pre-qualification and pre-approval. You're going to do that. That's your job as a real estate agent. Nobody else can do that for the buyer. Now, neighborhood information and home search, that can be leveraged. If you're a part of a team, your team can help you with that. If you're not a team, you can find somebody to leverage that through. 5, make an offer. That's your job as a real estate agent. It's part of your 20%. 6, negotiate. Again, your job. 7, 8, 9, and 10 can all be leveraged. Vendor coordination, pre-close preparation, closing, and post-closing. So there it is. Those are the 10 items that make up your value proposition for working with sellers and your 10 items that make up your value proposition for working with buyers. Now, you can go back and watch the 14-point listing presentation and you can customize your listing presentation based on page 95. Not only can you, you should. Let's go back and talk about purpose. The real estate agents always have a clear understanding of why they should be hired, and they are able to articulate to anyone. I'm going to share my screen. I'm going to share a video with you. I'm going to tell you before I do that the beginning of this video is not great quality. The sound is bad, and it's not this call. It's actually the video, and it gets better. Hang in there. Pay attention and take notes. This video is on the why and understanding why the why is so important.
All the great and inspiring leaders and organizations in the world, whether it's Apple or Martin Luther King or the Wright brothers, they all think, act, and communicate the exact same way, and it's the complete opposite to everyone else. All I did was codify it. And it's probably the world's simplest idea. I call it the golden circle. Why, how, what? This little idea explains why some organizations and some leaders are able to inspire where others aren't. Let me define the terms really quickly. Every single person, every single organization on the planet knows what they do 100%. Some know how they do it, whether you call it your differentiating value proposition or your proprietary process or your USP. But very, very...
Hello, did you guys hear that? You guys paying attention? Okay, yep. You don't have to answer. It was rhetorical.
Few people or organizations know why they do what they do. And by why, I don't mean to make a profit.
Really important.
That's a result. It's always a result. By why, I mean what's your purpose? What's your cause? What's your belief? Why does your organization exist? Why do you get out of bed in the morning? And why should anyone care? Well, as a result, the way we think, the way we act, the way we communicate is from the outside in. It's obvious. We go from the clearest thing to the fuzziest thing. But the inspired leaders and the inspired organizations, regardless of their size, regardless of their industry, all think, act, and communicate from the inside out. Let me give you an example. I use Apple because they're easy to understand and everybody gets it. If Apple were like everyone else, a marketing message from them might sound like this. We make great computers. They're beautifully designed, simple to use, and user-friendly. Want to buy one? Meh. And that's how most of us communicate. That's how most marketing is done, that's how most sales is done, and that's how most of us communicate interpersonally. We say what we do, we say how we're different or how we better, and we expect some sort of behavior, a purchase, a vote, something like that. Here's our new law firm. We have the best lawyers with the biggest clients. We have, we always perform for our clients, do business with us. Here's our new car. It gets great gas mileage. It has, leather seats. Buy our car. But it's uninspiring. Here's how Apple actually communicates. Everything we do, we believe in challenging the status quo. We believe in thinking differently. The way we challenge the status quo is by making our products beautifully designed, simple to use, and user-friendly. We just happen to make great computers. Want to buy one? Totally different, right? You're ready to buy a computer from me. All I did was reverse the order of the information. What it proves to us is that people don't buy what you do, people buy why you do it. People don't buy what you do, they buy why you do it. This explains why every single person in this room is perfectly comfortable buying a computer from Apple. But we're also perfectly comfortable buying an MP3 player from Apple, or a phone from Apple, or a DVR from Apple. But as I said before, Apple's just a computer company. There's nothing that distinguishes them structurally from any of their competitors. Their competitors are all equally qualified to make all of these products. In fact, they tried. A few years ago, Gateway came out with flat-screen TVs. They're eminently qualified to make flat-screen TVs. They've been making flat-screen monitors for years. Nobody bought one. And Dell came out with MP3 players and PDAs. And they make great quality products, and they can make perfectly well-designed products, and nobody bought one. In fact, talking about it now, we can't even imagine buying an MP3 player from Dell. Why would you buy an MP3 player from a computer company? But we do it every day. People don't buy what you do, they buy why you do it. The goal is...
That was important.
...not to do business with everybody who needs what you have. The goal is to do business with people who believe what you believe. Here's the best part. None of what I'm telling you is my opinion. It's all grounded in the tenets of biology, not psychology, biology. If you look at a cross-section of the human brain, looking from the top down, what you see is the human brain is actually broken into 3 major components that correlate perfectly with the golden circle. Our newest brain, our Homo sapien brain, our neocortex, corresponds with the what level. The neocortex is responsible for all of our rational and analytical thought and language. The middle 2 sections make up our limbic brains, and our limbic brains are responsible for all of our feelings, like trust and loyalty. It's also responsible for all human behavior, all decision-making, and it has no capacity for language. In other words, when we communicate from the outside in, yes, people can understand vast amounts of complicated information like features and benefits and facts and figures. It just doesn't drive behavior. When we communicate from the inside out, we're talking directly to the part of the brain that controls behavior, and then we allow people to rationalize it with the tangible things we say and do. This is where gut decisions come from. Sometimes you can give somebody all the facts and your figures and they say, I know what all the facts and details say, but it just doesn't feel right. Why would we use that verb? It doesn't feel right. Because the part of the brain that controls decision-making doesn't control language. And the best we can muster up is, I don't know, it just doesn't feel right. Or sometimes you say you're leading with your heart or you're leading with your soul. Well, I hate to break it to you, those aren't other body parts controlling your behavior. It's all happening here in your limbic brain, the part of the brain that controls decision-making and not language. There's a
I'm dying.
Talk to me. What'd you hear?
Logic makes you think, emotion makes you act.
Good job, Valerie.
Woo! That was awesome.
Yeah? Agree.
Great aha.
Yep. Agree. Guys, think about your listing presentation. Okay? I'm going to talk since nobody else has their hand up right now. If you have something to share, please do your little virtual hand up and I will call on you. If I am having a conversation with you at the table, it's a listing conversation, and I'm sharing, and we're going through a needs analysis. What's the one thing that needs to happen so that this is a 10 experience? Then we go for the next thing and the next thing, and we prioritize the needs. And then my next comment would be, Victoria, I appreciate you sharing your goals with me. Is it okay if I share my goals with you?
Yes.
My one goal, the reason that I am in business is that at the end of this experience, when we are sitting at the closing table, you would be so happy with the service that I've provided that you would never buy or sell another home again without talking to me first. And almost out of a sense of obligation, if you knew of someone who was going to buy or sell a home, you would share with them that they need to talk to John Dietz before they buy or sell a home. If that's how you feel, then I've reached my goal. I've accomplished my why, the reason I'm in business. You see, the reason I'm in business is not to sell homes. The reason I'm in business is to create relationships that will turn into real estate relationships for life. And it's because of that why, blank, blank, blank. Now talk to me.
I think back to one of the last buyers that I got, we were able to get under contract. We were not the strongest offers going out there. And the real reason why the buyer won the contract, won the house, is now moving into it, is because we connected with the why. We connected with the seller. They said that part of the reason why they chose it is because the buyer's situation matched the seller's situation when they bought this house, and they wanted to give that, offer that to the people. And I think that sometimes we get, part of the reason we were able to convey that story is because we wrote a letter. And I know there's different opinions on that, and connected with fair housing and all that other stuff. But I thought it was important that we had to position ourselves so that we made that connection, because people will pay more, people will take less when there's a connection. And I think when we start making those connections with people, this isn't manipulation. I think sometimes we also think that we're manipulating people. It's no, we're trying to make relationships, we're making connection with those people so that we get the things that we want and the things that we need. It's why we make care calls, right? We make care calls to make those connections, to build those relationships with people. And if we're not doing that, then we're depriving people of the power that we have, the joy that we have, the things that we bring.
Good job. Good job, Michael. I want to get to some of the questions, and Michael, that was amazing. Thank you for some of the comments and the questions in the chat. Luciana, my 14-point listing presentation is on YouTube. There's, I believe, 14 different videos. I'm pretty sure we broke that down into 14 days. So if you go to YouTube, you'll find that. And it's also in print in my Scripts for Success book on Amazon. And no, I'm not trying to sell books. Where can I find a value proposition working with buyers and sellers? It's on page 95 in the Millionaire Real Estate Agent. And looks like somebody already answered that question. Let's see. Cool. Mindy, thank you for answering the question that I just did. So the answer is already there. That's awesome. And making sure there's no more questions, guys, because I don't want to leave you out if you're in the chat. I'm scrolling fast, so if I miss something, please forgive me. Looks like I got it. Okay, a couple more ahas, and we're going to break for the day. It's Friday. It's time to get to work.
You have hands raised, John.
We do.
You've got Richard Pollard.
Richard, talk to me.
What's up, John? How you doing, brother?
Dude, I'm good. Put your video on so I can look at you.
Oh, man. Okay. I will, you know what tomorrow is, right?
It's game day.
Got to get a go dogs from you.
There you go.
I just finished reading Simon Sinek's Start With Why book earlier this year. And that Golden Circle video just really brings me back to that book. You know, with the way that the market is going and low inventory and a lot of people, you know, lowering their commission rate and, you know, competition, a lot of, you know, agents that I've heard, you know, are, you know, what can I do to get listings and, you know, making objections themselves of why they are not, you know, lead generating and everything. And I think this is important for people to realize, you know, you got to show your value. If you are not showing your value and if you don't know what your why is, would you hire yourself? And so it's so important to explain to people and know why people need to hire you to sell their house and or to use you as a buyer's agent.
Great job, Richard. Great job. And it's good seeing you, my friend. Thank you for being on this call. Victoria Gordo, you have your hand up.
I do. You know, when you just role play with me just now, lower my hand, I realized that in starting with the why, there was so much purpose in it. It also created a vision that I also wanted to be in partnership with you. A lot of people come from that, you know, you're going to work for me even harder by me enrolling in your vision, you know, because you explained and started with the why.
So thank you, Victoria. And let's go back to the circle. What is we sell real estate? How? Most of us can answer that question as well. We market listings, sellers for buyers, and we work with buyers in order to find them the right properties. We negotiate contracts, blah, blah, blah. Why? Very few real estate agents can articulate why they do this. And why do most real estate agents sell real estate? I'll answer for you: to make money. And the seller knows that, the buyer knows that. And if you handle this proactively and you let them know, the reason I'm in this business is to build relationships for life. That's my why. The money is secondary. Can I trust you? Remember the 3 questions every buyer, every seller is asking. Can I trust you? Do you care about me? Now, how are we doing on answering those 2 questions when we articulate the reason I'm in business is to build relationships for life? It has nothing to do with the money. Matter of fact, I don't care about the money.
And all the people who really don't care about the money are the people who are doing it on a mega level.
You're right, Eddie. Absolutely. Most people absolutely care about the money. And by the way, if I'm desperate, of course I care about the money. One of the ways that you get to a point where you don't care about the money is always have the number of deals pending so that you're not emotionally attached to each one of them. Because if you only have 1 deal pending, then of course you care about the money.
Mm-hmm.
Have you heard you'll never work another day in your life if you do something you love? That's how I feel about real estate.
Sure. Yeah. Yeah, I love that, Louise. Absolutely. Cool. All right. It's 8:36. I don't want to leave anybody else out. I think I heard another voice. So if you had something to say, please step up and talk to me.
It was Natalie. Hi, John. It was Natalie.
Yes. Hi, Natalie.
When you build relationships, like you say, and people trust you and you do right by them, everything else comes to you and the universe brings everything back to you. So when you look at it that way, instead of looking at the money part of it, the money will always come.
Mm-hmm.
Zig Ziglar, the way to get everything you want in life is to help other people get what they want. Simple enough. And it doesn't mean you're helping them in order to get, because that doesn't work. It's just a fact. It's going to come back to you 10 times.
Mm-hmm.
All right, guys. Happy
John,
Friday. Yes.
Thank you very much for the mega notes.
Thank you, John.
Yeah, you guys are welcome. I appreciate
Thank you.
that.
Have a great weekend.
Yes, absolutely. Absolutely. All right, guys, let me close it. It's time to get to work. 20 contacts, not 18, not 19. It's 20. If you settle for 17 contacts, the 18th call, the 19th call, the 20th call could have been the $1 million listing that you got and you didn't get it. And you didn't even know that you would have got it because you settled for 17. The purpose of lead generation is to have 20 conversations and to schedule an appointment, whichever comes last, and focus on building relationships. Remember, these are care calls, not sale calls. Every single day is schedule an appointment, a face-to-face appointment with someone who is thinking of buying a home or someone who's thinking of selling their home. Do not be in judgment. Do not judge opportunity away. Get face-to-face every day with someone who's thinking of buying a home or selling a home. Enter them into your pipeline and then follow up forever in order to create emotional proximity. Remember to reject rejection, and no is not a word that lives in our vocabulary. Thank you, guys. Make it a great day. Have an amazing weekend, and I will see all of you Monday morning at 8 a.m.
You do the same.
Thank you, John.
Happy weekend.
Have a great weekend, John. Thank you.
My pleasure.
Thank you, John.
My pleasure.
Thanks, John.
Always.
Thank you, John.
Feel good.
Have a great weekend.
Yes.
You too.
Yes. Thank you, Lorena.